You were born in Rome in 126 AD, and congratulations, you've just entered the world as property. Your mother is a wet nurse, valuable enough to be kept alive and fed, but not valuable enough to raise her own children. Within hours of birth, you're pulled from her breast so she can get back to nursing someone else's baby. Your earliest years are spent among other slave children, raised communally not out of choice, but necessity. By age 5, you understand the hierarchy of the household. At the top are the dominus and domina, the master and mistress who own everything, including you. Beneath them are freedmen, then skilled slaves, then general laborers. And in a special category all their own are the wet nurses and the young girls being prepared to replace them. That's where you belong. You aren't educated like the children of scribes or merchants. Instead, you're carefully monitored. Every few weeks, an older slave woman examines you, your weight, your chest, the first signs of puberty. She notes everything on a wax tablet for the steward to review. The message is clear: your worth depends entirely on your ability to bear children and produce milk. At 13, puberty arrives, and the real scrutiny begins. Your diet is adjusted: more protein, more milk, fewer acidic foods. Your duties lighten, your sleeping quarters shift closer to other prospective wet nurses. Every aspect of your life is shaped to prepare you for one role: becoming a walking milk factory. Around this time, you meet Marcus, a field slave rotated into household service. You begin talking during meals, and soon the master notices. He decides the attachment could serve his purposes and allows a contubernium, an informal slave marriage. The ceremony is simple: iron rings, a borrowed tunic, a quick blessing. It's not love as free people know it, but for you, it feels like something close. Pregnancy follows naturally. Unlike many wet nurse candidates who are paired with breeding partners chosen for compatibility, you conceive a child with someone you care about. 9 months later, you deliver a healthy baby girl. She is yours for only 18 hours before being taken away. While you recover, the infant is handed to other slaves to raise, and you are presented to the Cornelius family. Their newborn son requires a nurse. For wealthy Roman women, breastfeeding is considered undignified and inconvenient. Nursing delays the ability to conceive again, and in elite households, producing heirs takes precedence over maternal bonding. So, women like you are brought in to provide milk. You're expected to transfer all your maternal love to a child who isn't yours, and never forget your place. Your routine becomes grueling. Diet is tightly controlled: no garlic, onions, or wine that might taint the milk. Sleep comes in fragments between feedings. At 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 6 a.m., you rise to feed the child while his parents rest undisturbed. Marcus is sent back to the fields. A wet nurse cannot have distractions, not even her husband. Inevitably, you grow attached. You soothe, feed, and cradle the Cornelius baby more than anyone else. Yet the bond is one-sided. After 18 months, he is weaned, and you are reassigned. The separation devastates you. With the next household, the Flavius family, the grief repeats. By the third child, you begin to build emotional armor. You learn to care without breaking, to love efficiently and let go quickly. This cycle repeats for more than 2 decades. You nurse the children of Rome's elite, moving from family to family. Each child stays with you for 12 to 18 months before you're passed on. It's a pattern no one praises, yet it defines your life. Something unexpected happens. The Cornelius boy thrives. He never falls ill, walks at 10 months, speaks in sentences by age 2. Rumors spread. Perhaps it's your diet, perhaps luck, or perhaps the rich simply love a good story. But when another child you nurse shows similar early development, whispers grow louder. Soon, patrician families compete for your services. They offer extra payments to your owners, send gifts to improve your health, and outbid each other for the chance to secure you. You are no longer just a wet nurse, you are the wet nurse. For the first time, you hold leverage. Your quarters are improved. You receive better bedding, finer food, even a few attendants. Still a slave, yes, but now a prized one. For 15 years, you remain in demand. Senators' wives request you by name. You move between the wealthiest households in Rome, enjoying modest comforts denied to most slaves. But biology does not bend to reputation. Around 43, your milk begins to falter. Some days it flows, others, it dries. You try to hide it, more fluids, better food, extra rest, but by 44, the supply ends. The privileges vanish overnight. You're reassigned to hard labor, scrubbing floors, emptying chamber pots, hauling water. Your private quarters are taken, replaced with crowded slave barracks. The food downgrades to rations. Your body, softened from years of lighter duties, aches under the strain. For the first time in decades, you live as the majority of slaves do, in exhaustion and pain. The years crawl on. Your hair grays, your back bends, your hands crack and bleed from endless scrubbing. At 62, you are ancient by slave standards, worn down by decades of service. One winter morning, as you clean the entry hall, a woman enters asking about a wet nurse who once worked there many years ago. You rise slowly, your joints stiff. The woman is in her 30s, free, confident, well-dressed. But her eyes, your eyes, stop your breath. She explains that she was taken from her mother at birth but has spent years searching. When she studies your face, recognition flickers. She smiles nervously, and in her expression, you see Marcus. Your voice shakes as you whisper the only question that matters: what was her name? She doesn't know. She was stolen too early to remember. But she has never stopped looking. Now, she has the means to buy her mother's freedom, if she can find her. You drop your scrub brush, trembling. She's alive, you manage to say. She's right here. The reunion is everything and nothing you imagined. She holds you while you both weep, and within hours begins negotiating your freedom. It takes 3 days and more money than you could fathom, but to her it is little. For the first time, you walk out of a Roman household not as property, but as a free woman. Your daughter brings you into her home, a modest house with a small garden. For the first time, you sit in the sun as a free person, no duties, no overseers, no fear. For 8 months, you live this way. Then, on a warm spring morning, you die peacefully in your sleep, your daughter holding your hand. It was miserable to be a wet nurse in ancient Rome, miserable to be any kind of slave. Yet somehow, through decades of loss and hardship, the bond between mother and child found its way back to you. And though freedom came only at the end, it was enough to know you had not been forgotten.